Okay,
Okay.
next slide.
Nope. Yeah. Is it coming up?
Uh,
Here we go.
Okay.
One.
Phil?
One.
Move your cursor down, make it bigger.
So basically, I like this minimalist photo of fog, and I threw the tower in there so that you could actually see the fog.
So we can't make it larger?
It would be nice.
Yeah, right there on the right.
Here we go.
There you go.
Yay.
Much better.
Little
Okay,
bit.
thank you.
Right. So yeah, this was a extreme crop I took with my mid-range.
Sugar one
Bland.
better. It's too bland. Needs a tiny bit or something.
Steve, mute yourself.
Sorry.
On to the next.
This is one of the interior shots. I liked all of the craziness and the patterns of all the rust and rotten metal and the paint on the walls.
Yeah, really nice.
Fascinates me.
It
Did
looks
you-
like an old book, like a very old moldy books.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really nice.
Phil, did you do that handheld?
No, this was with a tripod.
Next.
Yeah, I like this angle. It's kind of like full of all these leading lines that lead to, you know, nothing. Even the little metal, even the little metal piece at the top center points down there. But I just thought this was a unique angle, and I liked the geometry of it.
Lovely tonality.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next.
Next.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys all got down to the whale or not, but I was really interested in the cuts on the whale. And I know on the other side, you can see there's some really sharp cuts, which I thought were perhaps from a propeller. And on this side, I was pretty sure these are shark bites from when the carcass was floating at the surface. Sharks usually attack things on the surface like that. So I thought that was kind of a interesting shot. I included the surfers in there only to give it more scale.
Have any of you been to the Mystic Seaport in Connecticut?
Yeah, about 40 years ago.
It's still there. They have a whaling ship there that's for real, and they go through the whole procedure of hunting whales and getting the blubber. And you can see the blubber on the surface here, and they had these huge knives. After they pulled, if it was a small enough whale, they could pull it aboard, but in most cases they were large, and they took these huge knives to cut the blubber into pieces that they could use their yard arms to pull on board, and then they'd go into these big vats where they were rendered down and then turned into whale oil.
One comment on that is I read that they were going to do studies on them, so they may have done taking a section of the outer skin like that and use it to study, things about the whale. The scientists would do that.
I felt like that might have been the case for the really sharp, clean incisions on the opposite side. I wasn't sure about this side though. These look more like bite marks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Next.
And after the whale, I was walking away from the beach back over the bridge to the parking lot, and I saw this heron flying and sweeping in low and kind of behind the buildings, and I didn't see him come out the other end. So I snuck over there and took about 40 shots with my mid-range lens and slowly walked towards him. And he kept on walking away and he got closer and closer to where my car was parked. So I went in and got my long lens and got back there and took a few more shots. And by then he got nervous and took off. So I took this
God,
shot.
that's beautiful.
Great.
And I took about 5 others as he rose into the sky, but this one was the nicest one overall.
Yeah, nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Next. Terry? Not here.
No.
I don't know about the rest of you, but for me, there was a fascination, a revulsion, and a whole bunch of other emotions going through my mind when I saw this. I've kayaked around whales and orcas, and anything I see bad for them really affects me.
Yep, very sad.
I like the way this is. It's like a viewing gallery with the couples, almost like in an art gallery looking on. It has a very calm feeling to it. It's really sweet and horrendous at the same time, which I think is a hard thing to capture. So kudos to Terry on that. Oh,
You can hear-
fascination for the abomination. There you go. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't read that, and that's it.
Next.
Nice. I'd like to know where that was, but nice.
That was, you know, as you go around the Mendel structure and curve to the left, instead of going all the way around facing the south, if you just kept on going and peered over the cliff, this fisherman was down on the next level. I took Terry actually pointed him out to me, and I took a few photos myself.
You know, the funny thing for me was I was talking to someone up there and I didn't see him at all. And evidently the rod collapses. And I saw him coming up with 3 very long, looked like sticks or something. And then I thought it was a tripod.
Oh,
Maybe it's one of those detachable section fishing rods.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. Next.
Terry and I were there shooting together, as you will see.
That was a cool spot, huh?
That was a great spot.
Mhm.
I could have stayed there forever.
Love this one, how the tree is growing from what used to be the outside, but in the inside.
Yeah.
Next.
But nice.
That's lovely.
I didn't get that. Terry and I got out of we carpooled together, and when we got out, there was this shot of the city that she captured, and you know, I said to myself, "Oh, that's nice. Oh, I'm going to wait a few minutes for that fog to clear up." You know, 5 minutes later, it was totally gone.
Yeah, it was kind of a hard day for scenics.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
prime example. If you see something, shoot it.
Yep.
Right. Well, it's hot.
Yeah.
You know, I find it interesting looking at the shot, how my eye becomes anchored in that one dark area of the bridge before the suspension bridge starts. It sort of gives me a place for my eye to go as I go around almost a monochromatic image.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see this in black and white.
Next.
Tagged. Oh yeah.
A great
I'd
shot.
like to point something out. Even though I wasn't there, almost 10 years ago, I was there. And let's see if I can get this pointing the right way. You recognize?
Yes, I did recognize that.
All
I
right.
cannot figure out how to point. This.
Very cool.
So
Ah,
that was,
I was gonna ask you about that, Nancy.
That's pretty good, Nancy.
that was my way of participating. I went and got a few pictures from that day. Doug Kay, who was our judge one time from the Marin Club, had invited Gary and I on his a field trip that he had. So I got to be there. And
You know,
here I get to share.
All this time, Nancy, I thought those were shackles on your bedroom wall or something.
Oh, Phil, you're cold.
Phil, this has been
And
recorded.
this was back when I was even more intense in photo processing. It was maybe around 2011, 12. And a lot of Nick, and it might have been also some Topaz. So this was my processing about 10
Yeah.
years ago.
Okay, next. Where was this shot?
This was down from Battery Mendel as you come up from the YMCA parking lot.
Okay. Great light.
Great. It's a great place.
Next.
Wow,
So that's
That's-
me.
that's incredible. This is Ronnie's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know, I was right there and I took a gazillion shots because I loved all the graffiti and all the windows and all that. And when I looked at this Ronnie, I went in there and took a completely different shot. But I had no idea all that was in there because it was so darn dark.
It
And
was.
I never even took this shot. I'm glad you did because that is so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I can't say I would have noticed it anyway, but Terry was shooting at the very entrance when I
Right.
got there.
Yeah.
So I shot her, which
Ah,
I think you will see.
Yeah.
I shot her, and then she moved away, and I took some more shots. And as I looked at it in post-processing, I remember what the judges tell you about, you need to be looking at something at the end. And
Uh-huh.
so I had to lighten that up to make it,
Oh, yeah.
leave your eye there. But yeah, it was a very cool place.
Was that natural lighting or did you have a flash?
Neither. I did that in post-processing.
Well, that's what natural lighting that you
Shadow
process.
recovery.
Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was pretty dark. It was pretty
Yeah.
dark. And
Must have been long exposure.
I pulled it out. Well, yeah, when you're
Yeah,
shooting
it
raw.
was only a 30th of a second. You must have been set at a pretty high ISO too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my 16-35, and you don't need a tripod with that. I mean, it's amazing. And it doesn't even have it doesn't even have image stabilization.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Wides
you
are
on a
fun,
tripod?
fun to use.
It's a great lens.
Did you use a tripod?
No,
Really? That's great.
Did you bracket it all?
no.
Okay.
Good camera, good sensor, good processing.
Good.
Next.
Call me the lazy photographer.
A gal after my own heart, photographer.
Yeah. I couldn't stop looking at this. I mean, this is the most beautiful rust I've ever seen. I just love this. There's so much depth to it and texture, and
Mhm.
I like the contrast of the rusty, the orangey, again, with the grays. I just love this.
Ronnie, what sort of post-processing did you do on this?
Luminar. I bring it into Luminar, then usually I then bring it into color effects. I think that's Nick.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't do a whole lot.
It's really crisp.
Thank you. Yeah, it came out
Next.
good. I like it. So this is where I encountered Terry, at that building. And I mean, it was just, it had everything. It had the vines dripping down and, that building that with no roof and windows. And I cropped this pretty tight because I wanted to focus both on the graffiti and the architectural elements, and also Terry.
You did a good job.
Yeah. It looks
Yeah.
great.
For anybody that didn't go down there, right, that black hole that you see by Terry, that's the hallway that that Ronnie shot just
Yes,
previously.
yes. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes. Right.
that's how dark it was.
Yes. So she was standing there, and then she went into that hallway, and
Yeah.
so I followed her, and that's when I took that other shot.
Yeah.
Next.
So this was below Battery Mendel, overlooking Rodeo Beach, and it was just had.
Oh, I
lit-
didn't know that was Rodeo Beach. I had no idea what the
I
name
think
of that
so. I think
Okay.
Yes, it is.
You can
Yeah.
see the dead whale down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just barely, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it had all these wildflowers and just layers of good stuff.
Lots of color that day. I liked
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I think I enhanced that a little bit, but pretty
There
much,
was a lot though. Yeah, it was.
yeah,
it
there was a
pretty-
lot. There was a
Yeah.
lot.
Next.
And that was the sad dead whale. It made me really sad. And
This-
black and
Is
white.
it-
Yeah.
This image
Sure.
reminds me of film. I like it a lot.
Sort of high key.
I like it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's a very sensitive rendition of capturing the post life of that magnificent beast, the way
Yes.
you did it.
Thank you. Yeah, the color just
You did it.
made me really sad. I needed to see what it looked like in black and white, and I thought this was just reduced it to, the contrast of the elements, and yeah.
Really, yeah, I like the way
Good job.
the wave action too on that, just kind of leads you around and that's nice, very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also like the way you positioned the whale beneath the horizon.
Mhm. Agreed.
I mean, I have to tell you, I wish I could tell you that I did that on purpose, but I just spent a lot of time trying to get the horizon straight, not even realizing that. But yeah,
Oh.
it was just right.
Yep. You know when it's right.
Next.
Sometimes.
Okay, this is funny. It's like uh, my friend Phil there, he was doing something up there and I wasn't paying attention, and I just got a new iPad not too long ago, and I thought, well, this would make a great panorama. So I went way over to the left and I was fiddling around with it, trying to figure out how to do it and slide the little things up and down and mess around. I finally got it all done and locked my elbows in so I could make a nice clean rotation, and I got over there and here's Phil walking right into the picture. And I just kept going. I let it go. He goes, well, I hope I didn't ruin your picture. But you know, the more I look at it, without you in it, it wouldn't be, it'd be just so. And
Yeah.
you know, your foot's off the ground too, if you could see it close. So that was fun.
You'll have to send me a copy of that one.
And the iPad really did a nice job. And I enlarged that, and you'd be amazed at how clear and crisp, you know, like you are in the whole picture. You know, just really, I was surprised. You can go on now, but that, I thought I'd show that one. That was on the iPad. Yeah.
Good work, Phil.
Yeah.
Good timing.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I just got the right time.
Get my modeling.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right.
Next.
Yeah, I'll be right over with okay. And this, I just, I did the same thing that Ronnie did, is I put a wide on there. And I have a 10 to 24 that goes on the DX camera that I have. And so I like the lines and things going in, and I wanted to get the, you know, the grunge and stuff on the door. But then it's also kind of mysterious because you kind of wonder what's back in there. Although I could see in Photoshop, it might be fun to put something behind the bars back there. You know? But,
I think you need Phil coming through.
yeah, there you go.
Only like as a
Ghost.
slow shutter speed, so he's like a ghost coming
Oh
to
yeah, that would
We'll go
work.
back tomorrow, Gary. We can do that.
You know, it's interesting, Gary, that the high detail on the first door sort of makes you realize what's probably on the rest of the doors without showing them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
really nice.
I was kind of trying for that. Yeah, I wasn't sure about putting that door way off center like that, but then I thought, well, it's kind of leading lines with the wide
Yeah.
angle. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Next.
and this before I went down there earlier than the time you had designated to meet, so I went over to Fort Baker, and I hadn't been down there in probably 20 or 30 years. So I thought I'd go down and look around and see what's going on. And with the fog was really low, you can see the top of the bridge there was in fog. And so all of a sudden, a Coast Guard helicopter flew right underneath the bridge. So I got a couple shots of him going underneath there.
Cool.
You know, so it just kind of, yeah, that was kind of fun. I like that side. I could see that as a night shot. That area in there looks like it'd be really good for evening when the lights come up and stuff, you know, do one of those cityscape things.
I love the way that I look at the helicopter going underneath the bridge and below the fog where everything's clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, what?
And,
Oh,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. What is that building that's underneath there? That old dilapidated looking structure?
I know,
Lighthouse.
it's one of the same thing. It's a grungy old brick building. So it must be one of those that was built when they did the fort. The fort there was built too in that same time frame as the as Barry was. Fort Barry,
Do you know if you can get to that location?
And no, it
No.
had no trespassing signs on it.
Oh, got it. Okay.
On the road going out. And then when you actually, you know, when I enlarged it, you know, in Lightroom to 1:1, you could see there's a no trespassing sign on it too, because I was thinking
okay.
the same thing. It looked pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was there.
Yeah, it does make me wonder what that was all about.
Okay, next.
And there's your ghost and our illustrious leader right there telling,
That's a great shot.
so there's your ghost.
I love it.
Yeah, what I did there was I had it on the tripod and I took about half a dozen, maybe more, zooming. And
Yeah.
every one comes out different when you zoom, you know, so it's a long shutter speed. What did I put it on there at? 1/2 second at f/22 to get that long exposure. And then I zoom as I do it. Sometimes it works better to zoom back or zoom in, you know. So anyway, I just keep playing with it. And then when you get home, if you're lucky, you got something fun. And that's what it's kind of all about.
Great.
Cool.
I'll tell you a quick story. When we were doing a workshop in North Dakota, we encountered some other photographers, and they had just left this insane asylum that we were going to go to the next day, and they showed us some shots. And in that shot, they showed a picture of the three of them that someone walking by had taken, and it was nothing interesting, but there was another figure in there, and it wasn't one of the three of them.
Oh my goodness.
Next.
And then one in black and white. Kind of a reverse of that first one that I had there that was in green. And that's kind of fun because you can, you know, in black and white, you know, you can play with like the greens, you know, I brightened those up, you know, because you can adjust the color channels in black and white, and you can do some fun things with the different colors, you know. I mean, you can make reds either white or black, you know, and oranges and the different ones, you know. So I just kind of played around with it and used the texture slider to get in and like that. And that again was a that was 18. That was an 18 millimeter.
I like this perspective a lot. I like this image a lot. That's nice. Thank you.
Next.
Oh, this is mine. This was at the, what did you say that beach was, Ronnie?
Rodeo Beach?
Rodeo Beach, yeah. When I was, we were all there for the second part of the shoot, and I decided to crawl up on the cliff, and turns out everybody left, and I didn't even know it. So I was running back to the car because I didn't want to miss my tacos, and I looked over, and the sky was starting to open up from the fog, and I just liked the light on the ocean, so I grabbed this shot.
Oh, nice.
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 You know, the breaking fog always has interesting things going on. I love it when the fog breaks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
You know, that almost looks like a tsunami coming in front of the bell buoy.
It does.
Next.
So I obviously they closed this down so you couldn't get to it. I don't think I've ever shot a lighthouse, so I couldn't leave without shooting a lighthouse. And luckily, the D Hayes feature on the software originally used it on Lightroom and loved it, and now Capture One, which I use, has it, and that's what I use to make this image acceptable. And I thought, you know, it looked pretty good.
Nice.
And you even got the light on.
Yeah, yeah, I made it a little brighter.
Next.
Yeah, when I looked in at this, I saw this really bright, rusty thing with interesting colors on it. So I just shot it. That's what I ended up with. I had a couple different frames using different f-stops, and I made a couple different crops on this. This is most of the frame. And I went with a long crop on this one.
I like it.
Great colors.
Yeah, amazing, all those colors, huh?
Yeah, nice.
Next.
This one was thanks to Tony. I was photographing something in the front of this building. This is the main building there at the fort. And Tony said, "Have you been in back there?" I said, "No." He said, "Oh, go check it out." So luckily I did, because this is probably one of my favorite images. And
Nice.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I love this shot, Steve. This is
Thank
like,
you.
there's just like that seeing, you know, the light through the, what looks like it's bullet holes.
Yes,
You know,
yeah,
that feeling, and then to actually see some like gentle details on the inside, just that kind of jarring juxtaposition. This one really speaks to me. I could see you printing this.
yeah, I'm going to print that. Thank you. I'm glad to hear you say that. 'Cause I thought that this afternoon. I think maybe that'll make a nice print. So we'll see.
Next.
And this was my
Terry.
this
Oh,
was
that's
my
wonderful.
riding partner, and yeah, we both went down there together, and I probably took a dozen or more shots down here, and I couldn't resist this portrait.
Oh, you have to give it to her, I'm sure.
Great.
Oh
mean,
yeah,
that's
I'm sure I will. Yeah.
Pretty.
She's already framed.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Ah,
Next. Well, as some of you know, I was down on the ground groveling around trying to get a picture of this, and this is the only picture I took.
Nice.
You know, I saw you
I
wearing
saw you.
pads. I was wondering what you were shooting.
They are so hard to shoot, and the light's always wrong, but I got this one.
Definitely.
Really nice.
Nice, yeah.
Well, that's it, folks. We've done another one, and
Woohoo.
we have a couple of weeks until another trip, which will be probably the second week of July. And tomorrow we can all wave at one another for the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds
Sweet.
good.
And Bill, I just can't thank you enough for taking care of all this, and we'll try and figure what I'm doing wrong.
Well, it sounds like, yeah, it sounds like that was what it was. If you don't use the Zoom link,
Okay.
you can't share. But that's.
Well, thank you again.
Nice work, everyone.
All right.
Yep. And thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank
Tony.
you, Tony. Good job.
Okay. Have a lovely evening, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right.